Senator Millett, Representative Cornfield, and distinguished members of the committee. I'm pleased to be back in a state I've visited many times, and thank you for allowing me to testify this evening. I'm here to testify in opposition to LD798, and my written testimony also is in support of LD987. My name is Mack Rosenberg. I am an attorney with over 20 years litigation experience in products liability, insurance coverage, and vaccine safety. I currently represent a client in a fraud case against Merck in California related to the Gardasil vaccine. I'm also the co-editor of 2 books on vaccine safety and the author of a book about autism. Finally, I'm also the parent of a vaccine-injured and medically complex young adult. I'd like to briefly discuss 3 issues related to removing religious and philosophical exemptions tonight. I've cut back on some of my testimony that other people have already covered this evening. First, exemptions are necessary to balance Maine Health and Human Services' power under the Education Code to add new vaccines to the schedule without meaningful public input, including public hearings. This end run around the legislative process divests you, the legislators, and stakeholders such as parents, scientists, and medical professionals from participating in a decision that affects the health of Maine's children, and it shouldn't be taken behind closed doors. The regulation isn't just a paper tiger. HHS used it a few years ago to add a Tdap dose to the schedule without any authorizing legislation and without public hearing. Other vaccines can similarly be added to the schedule using this regulation. So even if you approve of the current mandated schedule, what happens when a new vaccine is added, or many new vaccines with the hundreds that are in the pipeline? One vaccine that's likely to be lobbied heavily is Gardasil 9, a vaccine meant to treat HPV infection. It's the most expensive vaccine on the pediatric schedule, and a mandate in any state is a financial windfall to the manufacturer. The vaccine has never been proven to prevent a single case of any type of cancer. In fact, it only protects against a few types of HPV, not even all types associated with cancer. And like all vaccines, it's not 100% effective, and we don't know the length of protection. We do know, however, that tens of thousands of people have reported injuries, many serious, including over 460 deaths. Second, LD798 violates federal disability laws, including the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. It flies in the face of those laws intended to protect children with disabilities and their right to a free and appropriate public education. Under the proposed law, the state will condone disparate treatment of children with disabilities, while allowing children with IEPs who currently have exemptions to continue to attend school. It does not allow future IEP students or current or future 504 plan students, all of whom are also entitled to a free and appropriate public education, to attend school. Litigation on behalf of children with disabilities likely will follow if LD 798 is passed. Finally, by treating healthy children with exemptions as inherently infectious and contagious, and by permanently excluding them from school for fear of contagion, the state has actually placed them in a protected category. The Americans with Disabilities Act, Section 504 of the Rehab Act, and state law, the Maine Human Rights Law, protect you not only if you have a disability, but if someone thinks you have a disability or treats you as if you're disabled. Thus, the law forbids discrimination against a person for fear of contagion. Indeed, our Supreme Court has recognized that, quote, few aspects of a handicap give rise to the same level of public fear and misapprehension as contagiousness. Unvaccinated children are being treated as if they are diseased and dangerous. However, their perceived contagiousness, albeit baseless, puts them in a protected class, precluding discrimination against them, precluding their exclusion from school. We allow children who have hepatitis B or who have HIV/AIDS to attend school, as we should. Those children should be allowed to go to school. How can we exclude healthy children simply because of their vaccination status? I also, very quickly, want to correct some misconceptions about the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. It is not a no-fault program. It's actually very contentious, takes years to get through, does have a causation requirement, also has very limited statutes of limitation.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.